Hi, this is Professor Curtis, and this is a lecture on HA 310, Hospitality Law, Contract Law. The contract has four primary elements: offer, acceptance, consideration, and meeting of the minds. You should have that committed to memory: offer, acceptance, consideration, and meeting of the minds. When you think contract, think those four things. The offer has to be three things: voluntary, specific, and understood. Every single offer has to have all three of these elements. So, for example, if I offer to sell you my car for $1,000, I have to do so voluntarily. If you're holding a gun to my head, it's not a valid offer. It has to be specific. I have to specify exactly which car. Maybe I have two cars, a Lamborghini and a Honda. Which one am I selling to you for $1,000? And it's got to be understood. If I'm speaking Swahilian and you don't speak Swahilian, it's not a valid offer. The acceptance is the same way. It also has to be voluntary, specific, and understood. Most importantly, the acceptance must match the offer. If the acceptance is something different than the offer, then technically it is a counteroffer. And it's back to the original offeror to make the acceptance. So technically, you could make the offer and the acceptance. Consideration is something that a lot of students confuse. Consideration has nothing to do with being considerate or considering the offer. Consideration is a legal term that means something of value or a promise to give something of value. So, for example, if you want to give me $1,000 cash for my car, that's consideration. If you want to give me a check for $1,000, that's consideration. If you want to give me gold bars totaling $1,000, that's consideration. The promise to give value is the more common consideration. That's a contract. You write down, I promise to give Professor Curtis $1,000 for his car. You sign it, I sign it. Congratulations, we have valid consideration. One thing you cannot use as consideration is somebody else. For example, you can't say, I promise to let you date my sister in exchange for your car. Can't do that. The last piece is a meeting of the minds. What this really suggests is that the two parties understand what they are agreeing to and that they intend to enter into a contract. If, for example, during class, I tell the student in the front row, hey, I'll give you $10,000 for your car, I don't really think that anybody would suggest that that is actually a meeting of the minds, but rather that it's some sort of classroom exercise. The meeting of the minds standard is objective. It is what a reasonable person would think. It has to be free of mistake. It has to be free of fraud. The meeting of the minds must be truthful.